Hey folks, thank you for stopping by. This message is brought to you by yours truly, Daniel Morrow, creator of EliteClarity.com for all of your business financing needs, and thatphonesitesguy.com, your resident phone sites affiliate representative. I hope you enjoy this message, and I'll see you on the other side. Cheers. Welcome, everybody. So I hope you guys have had a great week so far. Kicking butt, taking names, making lots of money, helping lots of people, and having a lot of fun. So this Finance Friday, we're going to talk about, this is very important, why we all need counsel, right? So before we get into it, let's define what counsel is, right? So the way that I'm looking at or defining counsel during this video, for this video topic, is any sort of an advisor, right? Whether that's financial advisor, whether that's legal counsel, your accountant, your CPA, a loan officer, anything like that. You get the point. Having counsel is important. And I mean, really, the definition of counsel even refers to your management team, right? You trust your managers to take care of things when you're not around. You have a CFO that you trust for financial stuff, or a controller, right? You might have a CMO, a chief marketing officer, right? Your C-level executives, your upper middle management, right? Now this stuff is absolutely critical because, I mean, all the time, I feel like I'm going to sneeze. All the time, it feels like, all the time we see people where if they had counsel, if they had people giving them advice, they probably wouldn't be stuck where they are, or they wouldn't be where they are, right? The reason that we hire coaches, mentors, that we have people who are maybe more skilled or knowledgeable than us in other areas is exactly that. We do it for their knowledge, we do it for their experience, because they can shorten our learning curve, right? If we try and do stuff on our own, our learning curve might be like, ooh, right? Or maybe even like this, right? Whereas if we have the appropriate counsel, right, we're going, we get that counsel, our learning curve starts to look more like a hockey stick, potentially, right? Provided they have the knowledge and the skill sets in order to adequately advise us to get where we want to go, be how we want to be, whatever, right? Without that outside knowledge and without that outside experience, what tends to happen is we end up pigeonholing ourselves, right? We back ourselves against the wall because we lack the adequate knowledge or maybe experience or skill sets, right? We often get hung up, right? It was Einstein that said that the level of thinking that created our problems is inadequate to solve our problems, right? We all have ourselves, I've talked about this before, we all have ourselves in a box. And in order to grow, we got to remove ourselves from that box. We're never really out of a box. We just put ourselves into a bigger box, right? We have more of a capacity. We have more knowledge. We have more skills. We have more experience. The way to do that faster and sometimes more efficiently is, again, just having the appropriate counsel, right? Where's some of the stuff that I see people pigeonhole themselves? Credit, right? Sometimes people run their credit into the ground. Working on a case recently, it happens quite often, where people they're seeking money. They may or may not be desperate, but they're applying around. They're running their credit into the ground because nobody's told them why they're not getting anything, right? Why they're not getting their way. Like, do you have too many inquiries? Do you have too many late days? Do you have charge-offs? Like, what's hindering your progress by lowering your score, right? That's where like credit counselors, a credit counselor, loan officer, stuff like that could come in. The good ones will coach you on that, will help you through that, right? And even will have the connections, that they need in order to bridge those gaps for you and fill in those holes for you, right? It comes down to bridging those gaps it comes down to bridging those gaps, so we're not pigeonholing ourselves for too long, right? I mean, it sucks. It sucks for everybody involved. It's hard to have those conversations with some people because yeah, it hurts. Some people are sensitive, right? It's very hard to bring that kind of stuff up and have those conversations with people because a lot of people, their feelings get hurt, right? Certain people understand and they admit that they know better. They just don't have the discipline to do what it takes to overcome those situations. And that's where having the guidance, the insight, and sometimes even the foresight as we're going about our lives, as we're building our businesses, it really does. It goes a long way, and it really it absolutely makes a huge difference, right? Like absolutely huge. I know for myself, like I struggled for a long time trying to do everything myself, right? Trying to figure out marketing and sales. I've always been okay at sales, but trying to figure out marketing and trying to figure out how to grow a business and trying to figure out what I need and how I need it. And not just that, but when should I implement it, right? Because it's one thing to know what you need, but it's possible to implement things at the wrong times, either too soon or too late. And it wasn't until I started hiring coaches, started hiring mentors, finding appropriate counsel, that my learning curve just went whoosh. And sometimes, it's not perfect. It's not a perfect hockey stick. You're going, you increase your learning curve. And then you hit this other plateau, you're kind of going, you hit this other plateau, you're going. Right? Like nothing is ever a straight, perfect line. Sometimes you're going, and you fall back down. And you're going, and you fall back down, right? That little loop-de-loo, that little roller coaster, that might be more appropriate sometimes, right? But having the guidance and the foresight goes a long way because we don't know what's outside of us, right? We know what we know, and we don't know what we don't know until we know we don't know it. How's that for a tongue twister? But it's so true, right? It's easy to get caught up thinking that we know what we're doing or we know what's best for us and da-da-da-da-da. And don't get me wrong, I'm not saying we don't know what's best for us and we're helpless and oh my gosh. Like absolutely, that's not what I'm getting at, right? But what it really comes down to is we don't, 100% of the time, we don't know what's best for us. So when we have people that we can turn to and that we can look to for the guidance, for their knowledge, for their insight, they might be able to give us 2 or 3 different scenarios on what's going to happen, right? If you do this, here's what's going to happen. Here's the pluses, here's the negatives. If you do this, here's the positive and negatives. If you do this, here's the positive and negatives. And then it's up to you to sit down and say, okay, well, I like the sounds of this. I think this is what works best for me. So this is the way that I'm going to go to accomplish my goals, to accomplish my targets, right? But if we're trying to do everything ourselves, if we're trying to go down our paths on our own, we're just going to keep hitting those same walls and hitting those same roadblocks, whether it's consciously or not, right? One thing that I learned and that I noticed with myself, and I see it with my clients all the time too, is we keep hitting the same roadblocks and we keep hitting the same obstacles or pitfalls or whatever. And we don't notice it until somebody points it out and says, hey man, like there's a pattern here. There's a pattern. This keeps happening over and over and over again. So what can we do to either circumvent it, get around it? Maybe we can get over it, or maybe we could just shatter it down altogether, right? Who knows what the appropriate answer is? It depends on the situation. It depends what you're trying to accomplish. There is no one size fits all for anything, right? Which also leads us to making more informed decisions, right? How many times we've been like, this is what I'm going to do. Rah, 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 rah. And we're like, yeah. And it's like, shit. Shouldn't have done that. Shouldn't have gone that way. Or maybe that wasn't the best course of action. I wish I had known this sooner, right? That foresight, that guidance, that knowledge, what it helps us do is it helps us make those informed decisions so that hopefully we know what we're up against, right? We're never going to know 100% of the time, 100% what's going to happen. But even being 80% prepared is better than being no prepared, 0% prepared, right? 80% is still a lot better than nothing. And it gives you that nice thing is that if we're 100% on something, we're not flexible, we're not adaptable, right? So we get derailed easy, we fall off easy, we get sidetracked easy. Whereas if we're 80% prepared, we essentially have a 20% margin for error, a 20% margin where we can be flexible, we can adapt on the fly, right? Same thing is with what types of loans, right? I mean, most people, and it's no fault to them, think, a loan is a loan. They don't know that there's multiple types of loans. And not only, they might know there's multiple types of loans, but what type of loan is going to work best for what type of business, and what type of loan is going to work best for which type of situation, right? A line of credit, a revolving line of credit, is not a long-term financing solution. That's made to cover short-term needs and be cycled through consistently and often, right? Whereas something like factoring or a merchant advance, those are more short and medium term loans, right? More short, medium term solutions. Whereas you start looking at your SBA loans, your term loans, sometimes even equipment financing, those are your medium to long term things. Those you carry your balance forward for a while, right? It's really that simple. I can't stress this enough on how critical it is, how important it is that we have counsel, that we have advisors, that we have people to turn to and learn from, right? But not only that, but I mean, our businesses are our babies, right? They might as well be our dog or our cat or our child or our spouse, right? We are extremely emotionally invested in these empires and these businesses that we're building, right? Even if you're planning on just building something, even if you're planning on building something up for 5-10 years, just to have a nice big exit, you're still emotionally invested in it because you're looking at that long-term end result that you're wanting, right? So having that counsel, having those advisors, those people to turn to, if we're making emotional or irrational decisions and we're not looking at the facts or we're not looking at the data, they have no problem stepping in going, like, come on, make a little shift or maybe make a big shift. Like something's got to happen here. You don't want to go this way, right? Or, warning you, I've seen it happen time and time again. This, and this is going to happen, right? I get it. It sucks, right? It's not easy to hear sometimes. It's not fun to hear sometimes. Sometimes we don't want to hear it. And sometimes we're going to be stubborn to do things our own ways anyways, because that's just how we are, right? But again, having counsel, having advisors in our corner helps prevent those situations from occurring as frequently. I'm not saying they're never going to happen. They're just not going to happen as frequently, right? If you want to grow fast, if you want to make stuff happen, and you're tired of hitting those walls, if you're tired of hitting obstacles and the same thing over and over and over and over again, that's a pretty damn good sign that you need to go out. You need to find somebody that you can trust to advise you, to coach you, to counsel you, somebody that you can turn to help you get to where you want to be, and that has the knowledge, the experience, the skill set, and the foresights, right? I'm more than happy to help you guys if you're watching this video. My contact information isn't hard to find, right? You can go to contact.danielmorrow.ca, my name. You can go to clickso.com/eliteclarity. Wherever this video is, you can go to my profile or you can click the link down below to contact me. Like, there's any number of ways to get a hold of me. And if I'm able to help, I'll help. If I can't, I'll tell you straight up, that's not in my wheelhouse. That's outside of my wheelhouse. Or I'm not comfortable, or you know what? I just don't have the passion in that particular area to do it. But maybe I know somebody who does. Maybe I know somebody that can, right? Maybe there's somebody that I can set up an introduction to that will be able to fill in those gaps for you one way or another if I can't. And that's the thing. And that's what you want to look for in a coach, in a mentor, in an advisor, right? Self-awareness in anybody, even a partner, your boyfriend or your girlfriend, right? Having that self-awareness and that ability to set those boundaries and say, I'm not comfortable. That's not my cup of tea. It's too far outside of my wheelhouse. Or, I'm just not passionate about it. I don't care. So it's not going to do you any justice. It really does go a long way. And that self-awareness, you need that self-awareness to know when people are leading you on, pulling the wool over your eyes. But for somebody to have that self-awareness as you're thinking about hiring them goes a long way too, right? Chances are they're not going to lead you astray on purpose, right? We've heard it all too often. Like, too many people hire people and don't get results, right? Too many people out there just take the money and run, and that's it. There's no fulfillment. There's barely any delivery. There's nothing on the back end. And we feel betrayed. We feel hurt. We lose trust, right? We lose confidence in our ability to associate with the right people. And that's why when you're hiring somebody, if you're paying somebody, they have a commitment to you to do right by you, to act out of everybody's best interest that's involved, not just their own, right? Your business is your business. If you make money selling this widget, yes, it's in your best interest to sell this widget, this product, this service, this experience, whatever. But if it's not a good fit, it's not a good fit. It's in your best interest and the client's best interest to say, this isn't going to work. Sorry. See you later. Right? Ethics and morality, integrity. It does go a long way, and that's going to make or break you. So that's what I got, guys. Find advisors. Find counsel. Find people that you can trust to do right by you, to help you get where you want to be that much faster. You're going to appreciate it. You're going to grow faster. You're going to be happier. You're going to be less stressed out. And you know what? You might even get a better sleep at night. You never know. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Don't forget to smash that like button. Share this with somebody who needs to hear it. And of course, my contact information is not hard to find. Have a wonderful day, guys. We'll chat soon. Cheers. Thank you for tuning in. I appreciate you taking time out of your busy schedule to spend some time and tune into this message. If you enjoyed this, please show some love with a like, share, or by leaving a comment review wherever you happen to be tuning in. Don't forget to join us on the Facebook group, Business Owners and Entrepreneurs Network, and head on over to eliteclarity.com to check out our financing options. Cheers.